Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Ayanna Castro. I am founder and chief maven of Work Your Package. And on this quasi BS snowy Wednesday in the good DMV, I say good morning. I'm not going to be before you long, I promise. I just want to talk about Be the Light. I am in the process of reading a book called The Lighthouse Effect. And if you're not familiar with it, I'll go ahead and I'll put it in the chat below once I get back to my office. But it talks about how ordinary people impact others. And it gives a very, not detailed, but it gives some history behind the lighthouse, like where the first lighthouse was found and the largest lighthouse, which is, I believe, Cape Hatteras in North Carolina. I think it's like 185 feet tall or whatever it is. But it goes into detail about the purpose of the lighthouse. Way back when the lighthouse was necessary for ships to find safe harbor, they knew that they were on the right track. They knew that whether they were in danger, because the lighthouse was they were positioned in places of where there could be danger, either entering a harbor or the shoreline or whatever. So it let ships know that they were approaching danger, and then it helped guide them in the way that they needed to go. Very similarly, we, as loving human beings, can serve as lighthouse for others. They shared a story in the book where, and it's not a true story, but there was a ship captain, very decorated with all these medals across his chest and shoulders, and he noticed that there was another object coming towards them. He was going towards it, but coming towards them, and he, went on the radio to say, we are in a direct path for collision. You need to move 20 degrees. And the lighthouse, well, they didn't know it was a lighthouse, but the response came back and said, I'm unable to move. You need to move 20 degrees. And then the captain came back and ran down all his credentials of who he was and how many years he had, being a ship captain or whatever, and demanded that the person move. And finally, the message came back after a pause and said, "Sir, I'm a lighthouse." So, yeah, the lighthouse can't move. So when I read that, I thought about, in which ways do we show up as a lighthouse for others? It shows up in our ability to stay steadfast in our values and our morals and what we believe in and our passions, even in light of, in spite of, sometimes the obvious showstoppers, the influencers, the people who claim to be experts, the people who say that they know everything, the people who've been on your job for 25 years and we know how this thing goes, the people who've been in your organization since, Hector was a puppy, and they know these things. But when you stay steadfast in what you know to be true, how many times do you serve as a lighthouse for others? So that was the thing that hit me the most. Being a lighthouse for others does not mean that you are the loudest, the grandest, the most, with the most likes, the most followers. Your light is not always seen up close and personal. It doesn't always impact the people who are right next to you. Sometimes your impact is a far casting light, and you don't even realize it. So I just encourage you to stay steadfast and continue to be a lighthouse. Be a light for somebody else. While they may not come to you and say, "Oh my God, what you did really influenced me," or "What you posted really helped me out." I have a couple of friends on here who are faithful with the good motivational, memes and graphics, and I appreciate it. I don't always say thank you. I may like the button, but I don't always thank them and let them know, this came right on time. It does. You never know who you're influencing. You never know who you're positively impacting. And conversely, you never know how your influence is being taken. So often we put these people with influence and power and position on these pedestals as if it is not attainable for us to have that same influence. It's not possible for us to have the same influence. It is possible. It absolutely is possible. So I encourage you to continue to be the light. I do. And along with that, I encourage you to live and not just exist, because that's it and that's all I got for you today. I encourage you to live and not just exist, because existing will have you thinking that the little light that you're shining is very singular. You might impact one or two people, but I promise you, you are impacting more people than you know. Can remain steadfast like the lighthouse in your values, in your mission, in your purpose, pursuing what it is that you know that you were created to do. That's it and that's all. That's all I got for you today. I love you. If you like the video, go ahead and share it, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.